So what I'm going to do is I am just going to dump a bunch of wood in this chest here.
That's very convenient.
And then I'm going to go out and after wood resource. You got to type in the full name of this thing. So okay, there we go. So I'm just going to start filling this chest up with construction tools and upgrade tools, so that you.
Yes. Okay. I'm getting into it because we're going to start some of the builds, and this is when I am. We always like to try to break. And no offense to your game, but we always like to try to make game-breaking builds from whatever we do. Ridiculous things, and
I love it. So this is valuable stuff. The more you break it, the more Steam keys get given.
Treasure. Oh, even more treasure. Treasure for everyone.
Treasure for everyone. It's like that Oprah moment. You get a key. You get a key.
Yeah. All right, everyone, check under your seats.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing there. Behold, nerd paraded. No, I'm sorry. Let's get a... You put one in here, but I'm going to try to craft one myself since I just grabbed some wood. So most things seem to be crafted with wood at the moment. Like wood, stone, twine. Are there going to be new resources? Are there plans to be new resources? Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this business. Mine's already going crazy. You give this man a tool and he habitats for humanity. Or humankind.
You are, yeah, exactly. There are no more. There's the homeless mutant population is diminishing one house at a time. Beautiful work on that, by the way. This guy is a natural. So I'll talk a little bit about our construction system, and there's a ton more stuff in this chest. So if you guys need any more, I'll drop some more in. It was so funny. I was doing a stream with somebody else, and their audience was like legitimately irritated that I was spawning in resources. They're like, make him go and gather the wood by hand.
No.
So I had to go out with my hatchet like a plebe. I'm like, oh my god, 5,000 wood later, I'm chopping down half the forest. So I hope you guys don't mind. No,
we're good here. I do see that there are not only triangle foundations, but the never before seen round foundation.
Oh, you like that? You like that?
I noticed it instantaneously.
So you remember how we said that we went and we played like 30 or 40 games, and they're like 90% either replicating everybody else or garbage, because we're going like deep into the indie scene of the guy in his basement for 6 months that's never made a game before. And we were playing this one game, and it didn't do well. I can't remember what it was called. It sold at like a few thousand copies, and most of the game was mediocre. But they had wooden walls, wooden foundations. They had domed roofs, and I was just like building as I do, and all of a sudden I see like round walls, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Probably won't be a big deal. And I put one down, and I was like, oh, sweet mama, this changes everything. Beautiful round really structures.
Oh, can I trap YouTube bot?
Oh, yeah, you totally can. You can build around that guy.
I could a totem? Oh, hang on, that requires 1,000 wood. We're gonna build a totem.
So yeah, so this is like an example of we'll discard everything from this game that we researched, but we'll take this one little nugget. And there's so many nuggets in all of these games. I mean, so many of the indie survival games coming out are just at a quality level that is so much higher than what any game was 20 years ago. And there's some amazing stuff out there, but a lot of them are very similar to each other, and but they all have like these little nuggets that make them worth playing. And this was that nugget from that game. So our totem is like our tool cabinet, right?
Oh, okay. So it's your tool chest, like in Rust.
Right. Yeah. So what it does is you see now you have this little hologram. That's that blue hologram showing kind of where your claim is when you have your construction tool out.
I do see that now.
Right. So that's your hex. You've claimed your hex, and what you can do, and this is something else that we're doing, is you can open up the permissions menu in the totem, and you can start granting other people permissions to a variety of things. So doors, for example. So one of the things that irritates me, one of the most irritating moments in Rust or any survival game is like you build a space, and like 3 seconds before you put a lock in your door, some guy just walks in, kills you, and then all of your work is for nothing.
Oh, man.
Like I've had that happen once, and I put the code lock down, and I didn't set it, and within like a second, a guy was there. He changed the code lock and then took over this whole base. So what we're doing is all doors are locked right from the get-go. And you can put code locks down if you want to grant like unique access to doors, but the access is granted through the totem itself. So you have just a menu where if you hold down F on the totem, you can open up like a grid of individual access or public friends, party members, house members, that kind of thing.
Tanja, thank you so much for gifting subs here to the community. Greatly appreciated, my friend. I'm as I'm going through the wheel. Am I super blind? I'm not seeing ceilings. Is it considered a floor?
Yeah, it is, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
ceilings and floors are the same
They
thing.
are the one and the same. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah, we should probably put ceilings and floors because a lot of people do look for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it's kind of a knee jerk for some players to just kind of, or myself specifically. I can only speak for myself. I was just kind of like, okay, ceiling. Is this the multi-dimensional or floor? Is this a multi-dimensional, or should I be looking for ceilings? Am I doing this right? I'm scared. Mom, are you proud of me? I just
We're
had
all
an
proud of you.
existential crisis in the middle of our stream.
We are all proud of you. Don't worry. But yeah, let's just explore this crafting menu to you guys' heart's extent, and like the main focus for us here is trying just to make players' lives as efficient as possible. So you're spending less time in a crafting menu building walls and more time just building the wall itself.
Right.
And so everything that we can simplify, and this is one of the ways that we're trying to differentiate ourselves a little bit more, is that anything that goes in a house that is, you're only going to build it in your house, it all just lives in one menu system, or actually two menu systems if you include the upgrade tool. So you'll probably build an upgrade tool eventually, but so it's like instead of crafting a door and then placing a door, we just put the door in the menu instead of building locks or torches or anything else that you're going to place on walls. All of this stuff is going to live in the same radial menu. And then it's the same goes for the upgrade tool when you get your hands on that, is that anything that's in your house that can be upgraded or it has multiple tiers all gets upgraded through the same kind of radial menu, as opposed to having to go out of the construction menu set and into another crafting menu set. We just want it all to flow in one menu.
Okay, and I'm seeing something that you almost never see. There's half walls, awesome, but there is third walls.
Yeah, they just
Third wall. It doesn't seem to stack, but it functions as an interesting railing system, or could potentially.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, third walls are really cool. Like for example, if I take this third wall and upgrade it to stone, for example, when you go and crouch with a gun, you've got like these really cool protective areas that you can kind of crouch behind and get a good vantage point at. So it really adds a little bit more of a defensive variable, particularly when you're up high and looking down. A half wall is going to block your angle looking down, but a third wall, it's just right.
So the mesh on this third wall, when you upgrade it, now does it kind of change dynamically? I mean, we're talking like kind of next level stuff here, but I see that this area is slightly higher than this one. Will I shoot through it, or will I suffer penalty? Like that kind of thing. I feel like that might be a PvP in the future related question. But is there like a hard, rigid, rectangular hitbox for said thing that it's going to be uniform across all upgrades, or like the difference in height is that can you PUBG like peek over ever so slightly and just get totally domed from this one little spot kind of thing is what I'm getting at. For science.
So
Wait,
yeah,
is there a bed that I can place down to respawn myself in my lovely abode before we?
So that's in the crafting menu. You might need twine for that. Let me just drop some twine on the ground here for you.
So I don't have to run all the way back after I for science myself into the brain.
Right, exactly. I mean, you can for science me in the brain if you want. I can just.
I'm seeing. I might not be. I went to Misk by kind of.
So so this is something that I'm playing around with right now. It's like, so beds are built usually in houses, but you build beds out in the world too. You don't have to just build. So for that, it lives in the crafting menu because it doesn't have to be built in a house. So for the crafting menu, for example, you have to have that building tool to use it. And so we want people to be able to make beds without having a building tool. So if you hit tab and go into your crafting menu, you find your sleeping bags in there.
Okay. Let's see. There's a filter. Can I search? Is there a search function? Am I blind? Am I not seeing it? Oh, type here. Right, literally in front. So bed. And, excuse me. Okay, bed might be a little bit much. Let's try bag for sleeping bag. Aha! We got there. We got there eventually.
Bit by bit, my friend.
Yeah.
You got it.
I appreciate you not immediately telling me, too. I got to, like, kind of work my way there.
You have that sense of satisfaction.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to call this bed. We're going to call you Pretty Gross. Because
I like it.
It's a sleeping bag that has some pee stains on it. I like it. I like setting this bed. Okay, now we can for science my face.
Okay,
So
yeah. Well, so
we're crouching down.
I can you can barely see me, and let's see. No, looks like the collision is a little simplified. So for that,
That one
no,
went
hold
through.
on. Let's see. Oh, wow. So I think, actually, you know what I think is going on here? We are not getting headshots. Oh, that is a total bug.
Here,
Hold
let's
on.
try. Should I
Let me
stand
try.
up for headshotage?
Yeah. Oh, see, that works. So kneel down for headshotage. Oh, total bug. When you kneel down, your hitbox goes down too far.
+1 to the
+1.
+1. So we're up to +3 now.
Yeah, and I sent it a couple.
Oh, you sent me so. Okay, good. I've been slowly trickling them out through the thing.
It's in the group chat, so I imagine mine has already sold them on G2A by now, but I'm putting them in a group chat. Yeah, I figured as much.
Mine's yes, excellent. Look at all this. Look at all these keys.
Yeah. Oh, you have when you release a game on Steam, you have no idea how much spam you get from Russian people that are trying to get you to give them keys for a YouTube channel that doesn't exist, so they can sell them on G2A. It's crazy. You get like 10 emails a day. So yeah, when you crouch, headshotting not possible. So I'm not sure how we can test this theory. Maybe go to the other side of the wall, standing up straight, and I'll see if I can hit you a headshot through there.
Okay. I spent a long time with that copy pasta, so somebody probably caught on to me while I was doing that. Was ready for that, but that's okay. Do we have more?
Okay. Let's see. So
we're going to this one, and you need me to crouch, right?
No, if you crouch, it's going to break.
Oh, do not crouch. Okay.
So I'm going to try to hit you in your chest. Yeah, I got you. Oh yeah.
Is it harder to hit a moving target?
I was shooting right between these two rocks here, and
Okay.
it hit you in the chest. So yeah, so we do have mesh collision on these walls. It's probably a little bit more simplified than the actual mesh, because if it was as complicated, that's just resources that don't need to be used. But
I looked over and saw Stairway to Heaven, and I couldn't help but let out a little chuckle.
oh, I love it. So somebody found the spiral stairs, so that's pretty awesome.
Well done, mine. Well
I
done.
hit Skybox.
Oh, really? I would like to test. We have set my respawn point, so I'd like to test this. We're gonna go off the high dive.
We have a hard limit of, I think, 50 units tall.
Okay.
So that's the tallest you get. So you guys the other thing that you guys need to build is the upgrade tool. After you die, because
dying comes first.
For sure. Oh,
Did you make a way up to the suicide chamber? Oh yeah, you did. Oh, why can't I get through? Am I that beefy? I cannot. Oh, you haven't granted me. Wait, does this qualify as my stuff? Are we in my totem zone?
I think you just have to time the jump properly.
Oh, I thought I was just far too manly to make it through. Oh, you did. Okay, hang on.
I mean,
Let's go in the third person. So what did you do? What did you do yesterday, Nick? Well, I spent 15 solid minutes trying to get through a door because I'm just so massive.
Put some stairs down for you. How about that?
Stairs. Oh, I made it that time. I think it was the stairs. Down
No. That was all you. That was all you.
100% the stairs could support my massive beefcake frame and clearly allowed me to.
Beefcake sausage patty. Oh, nice.
No, too much parkour. Too much.
Oh,
the fall damage.
The fall damage is real.
Oh, wait, I am not dead yet.
Oh, let's fix that problem.
Potentially. Wait,
Oh,
I bled out. Oh, wait, no, maybe not.
Come on, baby. Come on, get back up. There you go.
I was in mid-blackout. I saw my very brief life flash before my eyes as a clone, and it was grim. It was a grim life.
Well, you were back now. It's time to check off that bucket list. Do all the things that you wish you would have done before you died. Like, die from a much higher height.
Okay. Let's chill with the parkour a little bit, and less parkour! Okay, we'll get we made it. The grunting added effect. Mine, your building skills are terrible.
I was testing shear. How far I can build out without collapsing.
Oh, like the glue thing.
So hold on, let me put down little helper stairs here for you.
That would be fantastic. I also am considering riding the drone.
You can do that. He spazzes out pretty hard when you hop on for a ride.
I missed terribly. I'm very injured, but I'm slowly regenerating.
Yeah. Oh no, you're. In case anybody's wondering, that it's not just a very bad resolution game. His he's got a post-processing effect. When you get really low health, your screen gets all blurry, and it's just not good times.
Oh, there
So
we
you know
go.
what I'm gonna.
It clicked away. I'm now above 10%, which appears to be the threshold, and I am seeing much better now.
When you get to the top, what I can do is I can just shoot those stairs out right from underneath of you if you want.
Oh, okay. We're getting into structural damage now. I like this. I'm being very careful not to fall off because this is going to be a long trip back up here.
You're getting a good view of the island, so this is going to
This
be
is great. Okay, yeah. Let me look around a little bit too while we.
because you're running a 2080, right?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so you probably let me know how the frame rate is way up there when you can see everything.
Okay, I have it displayed on my screen or on the stream here. I'm looking at 60, pretty good. 62 is where it's sitting me, and I haven't limited it or anything like that.
Oh, the game's limited to 62, so it's
It
probably
caps
even
it.
higher than that. Yeah.
I mean,
look at
so
you
far,
go.
buttery smoothness. I haven't had any type of framing. My God, mine. I'm scared
Are
to
you-
go any faster than this because I don't want to fall off.
Yeah, there's not much railing. We put a few railings in there, but not a lot.
Okay.
So, okay, there we go. I'm just going to go and take out this bottom section, and it's doing the calculations. Up it goes, it's bit by bit. So we have it limited with how fast it can perform the calculations for getting rid of it, but the structural integrity calculations have slowly made its way, and there we go.
Goodbye, cruel world. It didn't even. It just instantly said, "You're dead." It just took me right to the screen. I didn't even get that splat. It was such a quick death.
Yeah, that is, well, I mean, you were already down to 10% anyways.
Wonderful. Okay.
So, okay, and you respawn. Respawning works. That's good. Held my breath for that one. So I think, I don't know where your body went. It might be over here.
I actually see it floating there.
Oh, there it is. Let me shoot it. That's a good one.
So what
Okay.
is our max tier of building material? So we, most survivalists are used to, like, say, your thatch tier, your wood tier, your stone tier, and maybe a metal tier? Solid?
Yeah. So why don't we, let's see, go into the chest here. Let me, I'll put in a building tool for you, and I'll put in an upgrade tool. So let's go and grab yourself. So we got thatch here is our base level. So this is like your scaffolding, right? Where it's
Okay.
cheap as hell to build. One shot is going to take it out. But it's
Okay.
kind of what you use to frame out your base design. And then you use the upgrade tool. Well, you grabbed a lot of stuff. So
I did. I am very fat.
you are very fast. So now what we want to do is use the upgrade tool, which is that one. And you hold down right click. And then you get to choose. And then all you do, it remembers whatever you chose.
Oh.
And then you can just
Yeah, it
run in.
does. So you weren't exaggerating when you said less time doing silly, tedious buildy things like the click place, right click, whatever. It's smart. It's smart building. I don't know how else to describe it.
Definitely smart. So that's something like, and I don't know why, like Rust is an example. I don't know why they make you open the menu every single time. It doesn't. And so this is one of the best parts about being a video game developer, right? Is that you play these games, you love these games, but there's always like that one thing where you're like, why do I have to open this menu every
Yes.
single time? And
Even
I'm
as
just like,
players, you see this
Right.
thing and you're like, dear God, someone please, like, quality of life me here.
but as a developer, you just be like, I'm not doing that. We're going to fix this problem for everybody now.
We're gonna be
And
good
that's-
people.
We're going to be great people, and so that's what we did. And so there's just a couple things. The other thing is like we'll show you other different kinds of doors that you can build. But so what we have here is we've got. I'm going to put down a couple wood pieces just so we can get some diversity in here. So we've got wood, we've got metal, we've got stone, and we can see that our stone and our wood, they look like they're nice. They've been handcrafted, right? They look
Yes,
like
very.
they are done by a craftsman.
Hardwood
Whereas our
floors.
hardwood, but our metal looks like it's been put together by a drunken baboon at the end of the day. And so what this is showing off is our we're going to have multi tiers within the materials based on your building skill that you acquire over time. So the more you build, the more you're going to have a skill that goes up and up and up. And then that's going to unlock the different tiers of wood and stone and metal. So at the beginning, all of our wood and stone will look equally as ghetto as this metal does. But then
Okay.
as you level up your building skill, you'll start unlocking different tiers to the point that you have the nice refined hardwood floors that we have here. So this hardwood might be like a level 3 wood. The stone might be like a level 2 stone. And the metal is
Okay.
definitely a level 1 metal.
Okay, so I'm assuming with these levels, it means the strength of said building material is also increased. Like the 700 health we're seeing could be 800, 900, maybe even 1,000.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And then each material has its own defenses against certain offenses, right? So your metal is going to be a lot more secure against bladed weapons or pickaxes than that might need explosives to get through, whereas the wood is going to be weaker against a bladed attack and the stone against a pickaxe.
Okay, so it is very, very Rust inspired in that sense too. Like each different material has its pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just a direct linear upgrade system. You go from thatch to wood to stone to metal, and each one is just consistently more health. I like this is more depth to it. It's not as pedestrian, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yes, not as pedestrian.
Pedestrian.
We're appealing to a little bit more of a refined survival.
Pardon me as I adjust my monocle.
Yes, and twirl my
mustache. Yes, excellent. Oh, I see a question by Denny here. Are there flamethrowers? Now, this is a critical question.
Good. So, flamethrowers definitely on the roadmap, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Real flame physics is a bullet we're not biting right quite yet, but they will be coming for sure.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for the question, Denny.
I'll show you another cool thing about what we want to do with our construction system as well, which is you have your upgrade tool out. And so what we want to do, most games, you're going to upgrade your floors and your walls. But like I was mentioning, everything that is involved in construction, not just the floors and the walls, but things that you might place on a wall or put down like a table and chairs can also be upgraded by holding the right mouse button down on those objects. So if we wanted to say, upgrade these torches from simple torches to something a little bit more refined, assuming we have the materials, we could do that as well. So it's like, if I'm a new player, I build a bunch of torches, and I put them on my walls, I feel good about myself. But then I advance a little bit. What I don't want to do is have to run around my house destroying all of my torches, because that's a pain in the ass. I just want to upgrade my torches to something better, like a lantern.
A very nice feature. Yeah, I mean, you're living in the... You're done living in the sticks and having torches. You've upgraded to the Stone Age. It's time to advance your decorations as well. Your lighting, yeah, and you don't have to hold F or hold E, rotate the wheel to the delete, and do that 17,000 times. That's again quality of life things that are really, really nice. That veteran survival game players are going to look at and be like, cool.
Right. Yeah, it's just saving you time doing the stuff you don't want to do.
It's taking the monotony out of some of the building that can be not so fun at times. Now, I love building when it comes to games like this. I love the creative aspect. I love being able to do things ridiculously. But sometimes the monotonous actions get to be... Mind-numbing would be a nice way to put it. Whereas...
Right.
Painful is a little more accurate.
And you're always going to have some of that mind-numbing thing when you have to lay down your first base and whatnot. But yeah, if we can simplify that a little bit and just make it a little bit less frustrating because it doesn't take much, right? Like if we look at this staircase I put down right here, most survival games, and I don't know why, I think somebody said one of them did this, but most survival games are like that, right? Where you've just got a door and you've got like half your stairs, you got to go through it and then sidestep. And so the first thing that we're like, why don't we just make a door that's offset so you can just do that instead?
Beautiful.
And then it just lines up nice and pretty. So just little things like that doesn't take a lot of work, but it makes things just a little bit more
friendly and beautiful.
Yeah,
100%. I am on board. Like the way things are connecting and meshing together, the way these little patterns are lining up with your like these are things that I personally notice, and it just gives that like the feel good meme, like, oh, thank you. Like it's just nice to see these little details that some people will just pass by if they're like, okay, I'm only playing this game to blow 12-year-olds' heads off. It's so pleasing to the people that are maybe in a roleplay crew or the hardcore PvE crew, the people that like the building. Because there's going to be so many from each different world, and
for sure,
it's just so good to see it. Like the flavor and variety. I'm getting into the ramble mode, but it's something that I really, really like.
Oh
I
man,
can
and you have
do
no
it.
idea. Like so we've been going in stealth mode for many years, and it's you build these things, but you don't have anybody telling you that they're actually good ideas. You're just
No,
like, this
these
makes
are
sense. And now
great. And I see
for
mine
the
has built a Pokeball stand with his
oh
little.
yes,
Could I interest you in some Maui fresh caught sushi or maybe pineapples? I will peddle my wares to this. How dare you strike me, sir? I am a respected vendor. My family built this city on rock and roll. I come
oh
from a
no,
long line of Mauians. That's right, Mauians.
I think it's more built on like ukulele,
Oh, okay, there we got it.
easy listening.
What's the what is it called? FOMO. That commercial with the Hawaiian beer commercial about FOMO, fear of missing out. That's the only thing I
Oh,
thought of. Please tell me you know what
I
I'm
have
talking about, or you haven't watched
I
enough TV.
I have not. Well, but
Okay,
that's okay. I've been making references to all sorts of things that nobody's been getting, so you're
perfect.
not alone.
Thank you. It feels good to not be alone.
We are definitely not alone here. So what do we want to do to break? You
Oh,
said oh God,
we were under attack. Pan, trusty Pan. I left my
where
gun floating in the sky.
where did these guys come from?
Is there? Now this raises a really good question. Uh, so we
Wow,
just
these guys are
became.
buffed.
They're super.
They are
Open
so fast.
doors.
Oh yeah. If
This
the doors
raises a
aren't
good
blocked,
question about map heat. So 7 Days to Die uses map heat. The more activity you have in a specific area, the more attention you draw. Is that what we just witnessed?
so this is definitely the plan. So we have that in place, and it's in the roadmap. We have on the back end. The system is done. It's just not performant enough to actually implement. But that is absolutely what's going to be happening. Is the bigger your base is, and the more stuff you have in your base that would attract attention naturally, like giant smokestacks or things that make a lot of noise. It's going to initiate waves of NPCs to lay siege to your base that you have to defend. Because the thing that we don't like about a lot of survival games is that the most interesting kind of base combat never really happens, and that's sieging when you're home. Most of the sieging happens because people are just going to wait for you to log off, and then they're going to break into your place. As many videos I've seen on Nerd Parade have attested to, I've
Yes.
I've seen quite a few, and what is more interesting is if you're actually home, even if you die, it still feels great to have that epic siege. And so, what 7 days does, which is so great, is that that's all you have because there aren't other players waiting for you to log off. So you're in this constant siege mode. And so, what we want to do is we want to have a little bit of the best of both worlds there. So you do start building a big base. It is going to attract a lot of attention, but there are also going to be other players that are going to siege you. And then the challenge there becomes how do you mitigate the only offline raiding trend that starts happening? And so we're looking at games like, what is it? Is it Cryofall? What's that game? Cryofall. There you go.
Okay.
Like Cryofall has some interesting offline raiding protection. But as I mentioned, we're going to be going a little bit more onto the hardcore side of things. So we are leaning a little bit more towards Rust than we would towards New World, for example.
So
So we don't
persistent structures and things of that nature on the server.
100%, but we also don't want to give players like the option to opt out of like a raid experience, like in the sense of yeah, we don't want to just have windows where that's the only time you can be raided, or you can set you can set an option that says I'm in PvP mode now. We want it to be a little bit more of a hardcore experience, but we
Okay.
also want it so when you log off, you aren't just guaranteed to be raided in the middle of the night.
Guaranteed to come back to nothing every day. Like that's kind of the stigma that most people face when they take a look at Ark or Rust in the PvP environment. It's like, okay, going to sleep. Don't expect to see you tomorrow, base. Goodbye. You know.
Right, and so there's like in games like Rust, what I think what the most interesting thing to come out of that is that it creates this whole subculture of just OCD base building where you're the most creative ways of making it more expensive than it's worth to raid you
Yes.
start bubbling to the surface, and you end up with these incredibly creative base builds, and I think that's incredible. Like I think that's what we want to move towards, but we want to make it so that like the guy logging in for the first time that hasn't spent 1,400 hours like perfecting his base can still have a chance. And so that's where interesting things come in, like offline raid kind of buffs that might happen, but they would be expensive in the sense of you'd have to go out and collect a lot of resources to power up a device in your base that's going to give you some buffs. It's not going to make you unraidable, but it's going to make you more difficult to raid, or making it so that you might have a portion of your totem, because your totem is where you store all of your resources that auto regenerate your base. Without a totem, your base is going to decay over time. And with a totem, you can dump resources into it that will just kind of keep it up and repaired. And having a portion of that totem kind of be backed up somewhere, so that when you do get raided, you lose a lot of your stuff. There's going to be 4,000 wood sitting in a bank account somewhere that you can access when you want to rebuild your base. It's 4,000 wood that you collected. It's not just magically there for you, but it's kind of like they're in protected slots that you can access when you build your next base. Because the biggest thing that we hear is, when I get raided and I'm done and I'm dead and I'm starting from scratch, I don't want to have to go through the whole thing again to get back on my feet. I want to get back on my feet a little bit quicker, right?
Like how hard, like how savage, and the question is, how savage and punishing are you wanting to make it for the player? Like, is it something that you don't want, and I don't think any survival game or any game period wants people to be like, that's it, I got raided, I'm quitting. Whereas,
which is what most people do.
Yes,
right?
That's kind of the stigma that it sometimes suffers from. And then you'll see people that are like, okay, well, I watched this stream on it, or I saw it advertised, or I saw it on sale, and I kind of wanted to come back to it, and I played it a little bit more, and I just got raided again. So it's almost like a vicious circle. Like, it could be a toxic element that would scare people away more so than encourage them. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time, you and the team taking the time to kind of figure this out, because this, in other games, and specifically Ark and Rust, has been one of the biggest stigmas of these games. Like, this game is so toxic. I hate this game. I can't play it because I can't do anything for more than 5 minutes without losing everything, and all that time invested, and so on and so forth. So there has to be some kind of middle ground that is appeasing to most people, like can be acceptable to most people, and that is a quest. That is an endeavor that I do not envy you guys undertaking. That's a tough thing to do. I mean, I've run servers. I've never developed a game, but I've run servers and tried to address this problem, and never have I been presented with a really good solution. So it's something that I definitely feel for you, and I wish that I could offer some kind of nugget of wisdom to be like, oh, we've done this and it seems successful, but it's the epic struggle. It is truly the epic struggle when you want to do a game like that.
Yeah, and it's one of these things where you're never going to make everybody happy all the time. So you shouldn't try, because I think that's what New World is doing right now. Is they started off much more hardcore, and then I think they probably broached the $750 million spend mark, and then people were like, "Wait a minute, we can't make $1 billion hardcore PvP game. We have to make it a little bit more appealing to as broad of an audience as possible." But by doing that, they started alienating all of the people that were attracted to the game in the first place. And so we realized we can't appeal to everybody all the time, and we are leaning more on the hardcore element. But we think that there are ways that we can make a new player's life, and even a veteran's player's life, a little bit easier without mitigating the risk and the danger that comes from being able to lose everything at a moment's notice. And it's tough. Like, I would love to talk to you more about kind of your experience running those servers, and the things that players have told you that they find frustrating, because there's probably a lot of lessons we could learn from that too.
Oh yeah, 100. I mean, we could do an entire debate stream on just that topic. I mean, honestly, there is so much to go over there. There's so many possibilities, and there's excellent arguments on both sides. So ultimately, and this is going to sound a little strange, but ultimately it falls to the game devs to figure out where they want their game to be. And that is,
for sure.
Do we want PvP to be an afterthought, or do we want it to be a main focal point of this game? Because I'm going to use Ark as an example. Ark, that game is a PvE game that took PvP and implemented as an afterthought, and there's so many things that are broken and wrong with the PvP system that it's frustrating and makes you want to pull out your hair. It also, for some reason, is addicting as hell, and I've played a ton of it, but it's something that you just can't ever seem to find that sweet spot. Like, how can we be without having completely different servers. Like here's your PvP safe or PvP zone, here's your PvE safe zone, like that kind of thing. War Knight, thank you so much for the gifted subs here to the stream. Greatly appreciated, you scholar and you gentleman.
What we can do is, if you come to this chest by me, we'll pick up some more goodies, and we'll carry this conversation down the road.
Oh, I love big goodies. Yeah, I tend to. I almost lost myself. I tend to get like almost laser focused in on a topic, and I become very.
Oh no! So we got
Weird
we got some good stuff in here for you.